human sexuality. It is also taught in grade 7 and in your elementary days, and also in science. And as you go in college, you will also encounter the gender inequality. There are 5 bubbles in this slide. These are the objectives, pre-test about activities and performance tasks, and the generalizations. The first objectives is to identify the basic terms and sexuality, sex, sexuality, gender, and etc. Second, discuss sexuality as an important component of one's personality. And the last, discuss the 5 factors that affect sexuality and sexual behaviors. So those are the objectives of our lesson for today. Pretest. Directions. Arrange the scrambled letters to form a correct word. Write your answer in your activity notebook. Number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. You will be given 40 seconds to answer this activity. Your timer starts now. Alright, time is up. Let's check your activity with honesty. Number 1 is physical. Who got the correct answer? Great. Number 2, mental. Number 3, emotional. Number 4, social. And number 5 is ethical. In about bubbles, there are 3 sub-bubbles, which is the basic terms, the sexuality, and factors. So let us explore the basic terms of our lesson. The basic terms in sexuality are sex, gender, gender equality, gender role, and sexuality. The first is sex. When we say sex, what comes into your mind? Oops, it's not what you're thinking. Sex is centered on the biological basis of being male or female. Next is gender. Gender is a social concept on how men and women should think, feel, and act. For example, when you are in the mall and you want to pee, you will see the label there for men and for women. Regardless if you are a gay or lesbian, our society or community considered you as a male or female. It is also refers to femininity or masculinity of person's role and behavior. Next is gender equality. Gender equality permits men and women equal enjoyment of human rights. Gender equality is a basic human right and a necessary condition for the elimination of poverty and attainment of national and social and economic development. You will encounter gender equality in grade 10 as one of the UN Millennium Development Goals. We are lucky that the Philippines remains the top country in Asia in terms of closing the gender gap. It is according to the Global Gender Gap Report 2020 of the World Economic Forum. Next is gender role. It is refers to set of rules, characteristics, and expectation of how a man and woman should feel, think, and act as influenced by parents, peers, and society. For example, girls and women are generally expected to dress typically feminine ways and be polite, accommodating, and nurturing, while men are generally expected to be strong, aggressive, and bold. Every society, ethnic group, and culture has general expectations, but they can be very different from group to group. They can also change in the same society over time. For example, pink is used to be considered a masculine color in the US, while blue was considered feminine. People expect that women will take care of the children, cook, and clean the home, while men take care of finances, work on the car, and do the home repairs. Some people are quick to assume that teachers and nurses are for women and that pilots, doctors, and engineers are for men. Sexuality is an integral part of what we do and who we are. It is the way in which we experience and express ourselves as sexual beings. It is the total expressions of the individual's self-concept. So the components of one's personality are first is the ethical self. This is the way you value your relationships. Next is the emotional self, the way you feel about yourself and others. Social self is the way you interact with others. The mental self is the way you think as a man or a woman, and the physical self is the way you look as a man or a woman. It is important to have a clear outlook of yourself. Then you will be able to focus on your good points and develop your weaknesses. If you know yourself well, you will know what you must do to stay healthy. So there are five factors that affect sexuality and sexual behavior. These are family, multiculturalism or culture, peers, religion, and most especially the media. Family. Family values oftentimes determine your own values. Every single thing that you learn about yourself started and came from the influence of your family. They guide you in the proper choice of clothing, toys, and games to play, and the proper behavior. Multiculturalism or culture. Filipinos living in different regions have diverse cultures and beliefs. Your cultural background can affect your values regarding sexuality, along with the norms and standards set by the society. Peers. Peers have the ability to influence a child's behavior, especially as children spend less time at home and more time at school. Like your family, your friends can also have a significant impact on your views on human sexuality. Religion. Traditional values and religious beliefs are among the most common factors that affect sexual behaviors. Religion guides individuals in topics of marital and premarital sex, marriage, divorce, and in terms of use of contraceptive methods. Media. The media plays a significant role in our lives as we regularly watch television, listen to radio, search the internet, read newspapers, and etc. For your activities and performance, there are two activities I prepared and one performance task. First activity is the Complete Me. Fill in the blank spaces with the correct missing word. Choices are in the box below. Write your answers on your answer sheet. Number 1. Sexuality refers to your total self and that includes your strengths and blank. Number 2. It pertains to your physical self and how you look as a blank and a blank. Number 3. The way you interact with others develops your blank self. Number 4. The way you blank about yourself and others focuses your emotional self. And number 5. And the way you value your blank nurtures your ethical self. You will be given 30 seconds to answer this activity. Alright, time is up. Your answer will be submitted in our Google Classroom or send it to my personal uh, messenger or FB account. Your next activity, for each factor that you have learned, provide examples of how this factor affects your sexual attitudes and behaviors. Write your answers on your answer sheet. Number 1. Describe how your family affects your values regarding human sexuality. Number 2. Describe how your culture affects your human sexuality. Number 3. Describe how your friends affects your human sexuality. Number 4. Describe how media affects your human sexuality. And number 5. Describe how your religious beliefs affects your human sexuality. And for your performance task, photo essay. Cut out or print or draw a pictures of the factors that mostly affects your attitudes related to your sexuality. Please explain the photo or drawing that you made. Paste it on a short band paper and please be guided by the format and rubrics below. To sum up our lesson for today, sex is a major aspect of personality. It is closely related to emotional and social development and can be best understood by connecting it to the total adjustment of the individual in the family and society. The process of sexual development begins from birth to adulthood, thus, it is a continuous developmental process throughout our life. The purpose of gender and human sexuality education is to promote wholesome family and interpersonal relationships. It aims to provide knowledge and skills needed to establish and have healthy sexuality. And there you have it. Thank you for listening. I hope you get more knowledge in knowing your true self. Don't rush up. It is a lifelong process. Good day and keep safe always.
Good afternoon, class. Our discussion for today is all about transcending borders through Southeast Asian music. Okay, our objective at the end of the lesson, the learner should be able to listen prospectively to music of Southeast Asia. Okay, let's start with your pretest. In this activity, you are going to fill out the concept map below. At the end of the center, paste images of flags of Cambodia and Indonesia. It is called the flag of harmony. Cut out pictures about the music of the two countries, such as instrument being used or anything about their music. Paste it inside the circles around the flag. Okay, first Cambodia and then second is Indonesia. Okay, class, you're going to pass your activity on our Google Classroom. Okay, Cambodia. It is also known as a Cambodia. It was the center of the Khmer or Kingdom of Angkor, a great empire that dominated Southeast Asia for 600 years. Their musical art is highly influenced by ancient forms as well as Hindu forms. These pictures with large orchestras based on struck keys and gongs. Its people also observed and adopted Indian, Chinese, European, and other cultures to suit their own traditions and tastes. Indonesia. It is an archipelago in Southeast Asia comprising approximately 7,500 islands. With over 238 million people, it is the world's fourth most populous country and is the fourth biggest nation of the world. Facts about the music of Indonesia. There are two basic kinds of Indonesian music scale. First, the slendro. The older of the two musical scales, or the lara, used in the Indonesian music, it is a pentatonic scale without half steps, which is commonly referred to as the male tonal system. Next is the peluk. In Javanese, and term is said to be a variant of the word pelag, meaning fine or beautiful. Pelog is a seven-tone scale heptatonic scale.
For gamelan, there are two main tuning systems, slendro and pelog. Although these tuning systems do vary dramatically across the whole of the Indonesian country, there are some principles which do stay the same. This is a slendro-tuned gender from Central Java, and its slendro scale there are always 5 different pitches. Here's the first one. That's number 1 again. They often number them simply 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, back to 1. And the 5 pitches are always evenly spaced out within an octave. So to the Westerner's ear, they can sound very out of tune, because obviously on most Western instruments using a 12-note chromatic scale, we can't divide it into 5 equal parts. This is from Central Java. In Bali, the slendro scale is mainly only used for shadow puppetry or for some of the ancient ensembles. Of course, it's very rare to have any gamelan instruments that use both slendro and pelog tuning systems. You would have to have a whole set of slendro tuned instruments and a completely different set of pelog instruments. So this instrument is a gangsa from Bali, very similar range of pitches compared to the instrument I've just shown you, the slendro instrument. This is pelog tuned. There are 7 tones in the pelog scale. Here's the first one. Moving up. Back to number 1 again. However, what a lot of people get very confused about is that you would very rarely play one piece of music that uses all 7 tones. You just pick 5 of them. So if you were going to number them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to 7, you might just use numbers 1, 2, 3, 5 and 6. That's the most common scale. However, in Bali, it's very rare they actually give numbers to the pitches. They normally have the solfege names ding, dong, deng, dung and dang.
Both vocal and instrumental music in Indonesia use slendro and pelog scales. Polyphonic stratification kind of melody is a result of Hackett interlock. Interlocking is a common technique used in gong ensembles. The irama is an Indonesian term for tempo. For your practice task, how do I compare the direction? You are going to watch a clip and cite its differences between vocal and instrumental music. The links are provided below. Then, accomplish the chart after. Write your answer on your answer sheet and pass it to your teacher on her Google Classroom. For your practice task 2, watch and reflect. Direction. Watch the video clip provided in the link. After done watching, answer the questions below. Write your answer on your answer sheet. The picture above is the MAPEH ensemble. It consists of 5 main musical instruments: skartam, sampor, oniet, ching, and kongbu. This ensemble is composed of percussive instruments, which means that it has a membrane to be hit in order to produce a sound. Take note of that important concept as you watch it. Enjoy! Okay, class, for our generalization, ponder on these questions. First, what is the video all about? Second, Do you find the sound interesting? How do you say so? Third, would you also like to play any of the instrument presented? What is it? That's all for today, and thank you.
Hi, good day, grade 10 students. It's me again, Maricel Toledo, your teacher in MAPEH. How are you today? I hope you are doing great and excited to our new lesson. Today, we will be discussing the media-based art in the Philippines. There are 4 subtopics: photography, film, animation, print media, and we will focus on animation. Are you ready to learn exciting things? Do you want to create a short animation movie? Great! Come on! Welcome to the world of animation.
At the end of the lesson, you are expected to: first, identify arts elements in the various media-based arts in the Philippines, and applies different media techniques and processes to communicate ideas, experiences, and stories. The use of software to enhance animate images like Flash, Movie Maker, Dreamweaver, etc. For your motivation, let us have this fun activity. I know most of you love anime, right? Great! I will flash an animated pictures, then you will guess the title of the anime film or show and the characters. Are you ready? Alright, let's start. What kind of anime or show is this? Who is in the picture? Awesome! That is Dragon Balls and he is Sangoku. Next, let's have this one. I know you love this match, especially those who plays basketball. What anime show is this? Who is the main character? Wow, you did great! Next is, if your answer is Finding Nemo, then you are correct. And the last, this is the latest anime movie. What is this? Correct, the answer is Crescent. What is animation? Animation is a drawing that moves or bringing the drawing or picture to life, moving something that can move. Animation is a powerful tool capable of communicating complex ideas. In science, it helps us to see how the heartbeat is working. In Araling Panlipunan, it shows the latitude and longitude and the sound waves in music. Of course, the expressing ideas and emotion in ESP. In recent decades, a whole new career opportunity has emerged for creative Filipinos via the field of animation. In fact, Filipino animators have been involved in the creation of some of the best, loved, and technically challenging animated feature films produced in the last few years. Among these are Toy Story, Up, The Incredibles, Monsters University, Cars, Finding Nemo, Planes, Brave, Shrek, Kung Fu Panda, and more. The Animation Council of the Philippines, or ACPI, is a non-stop, non-profit organization that aims to create an identity for the Philippines within the animation industry, making it one of the preferred sources for animation services worldwide. The organization works hand in hand with participating colleges and universities, the Technical Education and Skills Development Authority, or TESDA, and other government agencies and local government units to develop animation as promising career option for Filipinos. The Animation, an actual festival competition featuring the works of Filipino animators. The Philippine Animation Studio Incorporated, established in 1991 and has since collaborated on numerous animation projects and series with foreign partners. Among these have been Captain Flamingo, Producing Parker, Groove High, and the Space Heroes universe. Okay, below is the examples of the pictures anime series. The Philippine Animation. The Orduha. Orduha is an animated film adaptation of the legend of the warrior, Princess of Pangasinan, produced by APT Entertainment, Seven Toon, and Imaginary Friends. Is recognized as the first fully animated Filipino film created by an all-Filipino group of animators using traditional hand-drawn animation process with some 3D or three-dimensional effects. These are the examples of Orduha. The characters were voiced by an all-star cast and actors from Philippine cinema and television, with the screenplay written in Filipino. Next is Dayo sa Mundo ng Elementalia, 2008. Said to be the country's first all-digital, full-length animated feature film. Produced by Cutting Edge Productions, the film presents Philippine mythical creatures as heartwarming characters in a young boy's adventure. Its characters were rendered in two-dimensional animation, while the backdrops were created using 3D animation or three-dimensional animation. These are the examples pictures of Dayo. Dayo was also the first ever animated movie to be screened during the Metro Manila Film Festival, as it was entered in the 34th MMFF in December 2008. And the next is the RPG Metanoia. Another breakthrough was the first Filipino full 3D animated film co-produced by Ambient Media, Trauma Troop Animation, and Star Cinema in 2010. The examples of the RPG Metanoia. Okay, for your activity, name Animate Me as stop action cartoon. For your performance task, first, you will make use of a mobile phone tablet or digital camera to do this most simple and basic process for creating what is known as a stop-action animation. Download the Stop Motion app. Second, think of an action that will be captured as a series of still images lasting a total of 10 to 15 seconds. It can be an action to be done by a human or a movement of an object. Third, carry out the action or movement while taking a still image of each progressive step in that action or movement. Fourth, the still images will then be made to move using a digital animation program. And then, fifth, watch this tutorial video for your reference. And sixth, post your finished animation project in MAPEH Facebook page. And for those who do not have gadgets and internet connection, you will make a flipbook animation and then submit it to your teacher. Okay, the steps to make a flipbook animation. First, get a thick stack of paper. You'll need a thick stack of small pieces of paper like sticky notes, notepad paper, or index cards. The kind of paper that is conducive to page flipping. Second, sketch out your idea for flipbook animation. Third, start at the bottom right. Fourth, place a new piece of paper over the first frame and secure it with a piece of tape. Then, find a good light source. Fifth, continue this process until you have finished drawing your match burning all the way to the end. And then, last, when you have finished drawing your flipbook, get a bolded clip and text your paper together on the left-hand side of the page. Okay, here are the steps in making stop and go animation. First, download the Stop Motion app on Play Store. Open app, then click New Movie. Third, click Capture. And fourth, click Setting where you can adjust the speed. And fifth, go to Service and then 6, Export Movie. And then next is Save As, and then last, you have to rename your file. Okay, here are the sample of performance tasks. Okay, for your evaluation, please answer this quiz, and it is a self-check.
Select the best answer for each questions. Established in 1991 and has since collaborated on numerous animation projects and series with foreign partners. It is a non-stock, non-profit organization that aims to create an identity for the Philippines within the animation industry. An animated film adaptation of The Legend of the Warrior Princess of Pangasinan. An annual festival and competition featuring the works of Filipino animators. An annual festival and competition featuring the works of Filipino animators. Country's first all-digital full-length animated featured film. Country's first all-digital full-length animated featured film.
For your last activity, explain in your own words and discuss the following questions and 10 points each. Essay. First, what is the greatest contribution of animation in the film industry? And how does the animation affect the life of the people, especially the children? Kindly submit your answer to my messenger.
And there you have it. Keep up the good work, grade 10 students, in learning and exploring your talent. I hope someday one of you will be a well-known animator. Have a great day and keep safe. See you again next time. Bye!
Good day, grade 8 students. Today, we will discuss about the East Asian music, Quarter 2, Module 1. Our learning objectives are: first, identify similarities and differences of the music of Asia. Second, describe how the musical elements reflect East Asian culture. And analyze representative songs from East Asia and describe how the musical elements are used. Retest. Direction. Analyze whether the concept is true or false. Provide appropriate words to correct the idea. Number 1. Odaiko is a big Japanese drum instrument used as an integral part of many Japanese matsuri or festival. Number 2. Chinese believed that sound influenced the harmony of the universe. Number 3. Chongak means literally right music and traditionally includes both instrumental and vocal music. Number 4. Kayagum is a traditional Korean zither-like string instrument. And number 5. Chango is the most widely used drum in the traditional music of Japan. The East Asian music, Japan. Japanese vocal music is quite different from the Western vocal music and is based on the intervals of human breathing rather than mathematical timing, and how Japanese musicians shows their spiritual self-mastery and mastering his or her instrument more than simply perfecting a technique of some sort, and how they give value to their performance and composure. Japanese musical instruments are odaiko, or the big drum. The physical energy and sheer excitement of an odaiko performance is an integral part of many Japanese matsuri or festival. Second, tsuzumi, hourglass shape. There are two varieties, the smaller futsuzumi and the larger is utsuzumi. Tsuridaiko, a large hanging barrel drum. Taiko, Japanese drum that comes in various sizes and is used to play variety of musical genres. String instruments. First is the koto, a 13-string zither about 2 meters long and made of paulownia wood. Number 2, shamisen is a flask-stringed instrument. Number 3, biwa, Japanese short-necked fretted lute often used in narrative storytelling. The wind instruments or the aerophone. Number 1 is shakuhachi, the most famous flute made from bamboo. has 4 or 5 finger holes on front face and thumb holes on the rear face. Second, the nukan, a parallel bamboo flute, is the only melodic instrument used. Hashiriki, a double-reed Japanese flute used as one of 2 main melodic instruments in Japanese gagaku music. Shinobu, called takibu in the context of Japanese traditional arts. Shu, Japanese free-reed musical instruments that was introduced from China during the Nara period. China. Chinese culture was dominated by the teachings of the philosopher Confucius. He conceived music in the highest sense as means of claiming the passion and of dispelling unrest and lust, rather than as a form of amusement. Chinese musical instruments. Yukin, a moon-shaped lute with shorter neck and 4 strings played with a spectrum used for accompanying local operas. Pipa, a 4-string lute with 30 plates and pear-shaped body. Eru, a 2-string fiddle and one of the most popular Chinese instruments. Yunlu, literally cloud gongs. The yunlu is a set of 10 small, tuned songs mounted in a wooden frame. Sheng, also called as Chinese mouth organ and looks like a set of pine pipes with 12 to 36 bamboo spikes. Dizi. Dizi is the traditional Chinese flute. It can have a membrane over an extra hole to give the characteristic rattle effect. Zheng, an ancient Chinese instrument that has an arched surface and an elongated trapezoid with 13 to 21 strings stretched over individual bridges. Pingling. These are 2 small bells made of high-tin bronze without internal clappers and hemispheric or bottomless gourd-like in shape. Korea. Korea's folk music tradition, with its generous use of bright rhythms and melodies, offer a more energetic and capricious to the nation's collection of classical music works. The wind instruments of Korea is the piteri. Both use both the folk and classical music of Korea. It is made of bamboo. Percussion instrument, the chango, is the most widely used drum in the traditional music of Korea. Alright, for the activity 1, direction. Identify the instrument being described. Write your answers on the space provided. Number 1, a traditional Korean zither-like string instrument with 12 strings. Number 2, Japanese short-necked fretted lute often used in narrative storytelling. Number 3, traditional Chinese flute. It can have a membrane over an extra hole to give the characteristic rattle effect. Number 4, a 4-string lute with 30 frets and pear-shaped body, extremely wide dynamic range and remarkable expressive power. Number 5, 2 small bells made of high-tin bronze, without internal clappers, and hemispheric or bottomless gourd-like in shape. And for your assignment, listen and watch the examples of traditional instruments and vocal music of Japan, China, and Korea. For you to understand and enjoy this activity, use the guide questions provided. And that's all for today. Thank you for listening.